The rain hammered the cracked sidewalk like it had a personal grudge, mirroring the storm raging inside me as I clutched the crumpled rejection letter from NYU. My dreams, 4 years of scraping by on nothing but grit, and that full-ride scholarship, gone in one signature from the admissions board, all because of him. Ryan Caldwell, the golden boy with a smile that could charm a jury and eyes that hid knives, had whispered just enough poison into the right ears to tank my application, and now here I was, soaked to the bone in a Brooklyn alley, wondering if revenge tasted as bitter as this downpour. I slammed my fist against the brick wall, the pain shooting up my arm like a wake-up call, but it didn't drown out the echo of his voice from that committee meeting I'd never been invited to. "Jamie's talented," he'd said, all faux concern. "But he's unstable." Those rumors about his personal life could distract from the program. Unstable. That's what they called it when a queer kid from a trailer park dared to love too loudly in a world that pretended tolerance was the same as acceptance. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a lifeline from my best friend Mia, but I ignored it. No one could fix this. No one except me, and the plan forming in my gut was as cold as the puddle at my feet. I'd make Ryan pay, piece by piece, until his perfect world cracked wide open. Little did I know, that same night, as sirens wailed in the distance and thunder cracked overhead, Ryan was already 3 steps ahead, or so I thought, watching from the shadows of his high-rise dorm, his own secrets unraveling faster than he could stitch them back. I met Ryan Caldwell freshman year at community college in Queens, back when the world still felt conquerable if you just worked hard enough. He was the transfer from some elite prep school upstate, all tailored blazers and effortless charisma, the kind of guy who made professors lean in and girls, and boys, blush without trying. I was the scholarship kid, Jamie Reyes, scraping by on ramen and late-night shifts at the campus coffee shop, my only armor a faded rainbow pin on my backpack that I'd worn defiantly since coming out at 16. Our paths crossed in Intro to Lit, where he sat 2 rows back, doodling in the margins of his notebook while I devoured every word like it was oxygen. The first time he spoke to me, it was after class, rain pattering against the windows like it was trying to get in. "Hey, Reyes, loved your take on Wolf. That bit about hidden identities? Spot on." His voice was smooth, like aged whiskey, and his green eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made my stomach flip. I mumbled a thanks, heat creeping up my neck, because who wouldn't? Ryan was beautiful in that disarming way, tousled dark hair, sharp jawline, a dimple that appeared when he smirked, which was often. But I wasn't fool enough to fall for it. Guys like him didn't look twice at guys like me, not unless it was for a story to tell at the next frat party. We got paired for a group project on modernist poetry, and that's when the cracks started showing. Late nights in the library, surrounded by towering stacks of books that smelled like dust and forgotten dreams, we'd argue over Eliot versus Pound, our voices echoing in the empty aisles. He'd lean in too close, his knee brushing mine under the table, and I'd pull back, telling myself it was nothing. But there were moments, his laugh when I nailed a metaphor, the way his fingers lingered on a page as if tracing secrets, that made me wonder. Mia, my ride or die since high school, warned me over greasy diner fries one night. "Jamie's got that look again. Don't do it, babe. He's straight as an arrow, and twice as sharp." She was right, of course. Ryan had a girlfriend back home, or so the rumors went, a cheerleader type named Lauren, all blonde waves and sorority giggles. Still, the project bonded us in a way I couldn't shake. We'd walk back to the subway together, the city lights blurring into neon streaks, and he'd talk about his family, his dad's expectations as a Wall Street shark, his mom's quiet breakdowns hidden behind Valium smiles. "It's like walking a tightrope," he'd say, staring at the tracks as the train roared in. "One slip, and you're done." I'd nod, sharing bits of my own chaos. The abuela who disowned me after the coming-out bomb, the string of foster homes before that, the way poverty clawed at you like a living thing. For those fleeting weeks, it felt real. Like maybe, just maybe, we were 2 misfits finding our way. Then came the betrayal. Our professor, Dr. Harlan, a silver-haired relic with a penchant for traditional values, announced the scholarship panel. 5 spots for transfers to NYU's creative writing program. Full ride, no strings. It was my ticket out, My proof that a queer Latino kid from the wrong side of the tracks could rewrite his story. Ryan was up for it too, but whispers said he had backups, family money, connections. I didn't. So I poured everything into that application. Essays bleeding with raw honesty about identity, loss, the fire of loving against the odds. The night before the panel, Ryan texted, "Nervous? Meet at the coffee shop?" Moral support. I showed, heart pounding, and we talked for hours. He admitted his own fears, how the pressure to be perfect was suffocating. "What if they see through me?" he whispered, his hand on mine for a split second too long. I squeezed back, pulse racing, and for one stupid moment, I thought it meant something. The next day, the panel convened. I wasn't there, but word got back fast. Ryan had spoken, concerned about my stability. Rumors of my dramatic personal life, he called it. Code for the pride rally I'd organized, the op-ed I'd written on queer erasure in literature. It painted me as a liability, a distraction. My essay? Brilliant, they said, but overshadowed by character concerns. When the rejection hit, it wasn't just the scholarship. It was the confirmation that trust was a luxury I couldn't afford. Ryan didn't gloat. He sent a pity text, heard the news. "Tough break, man. Drinks on me." I deleted it, rage boiling into a vow. Revenge. I'd infiltrate his world, expose whatever skeletons he hid, make him feel the isolation I'd known my whole life. Mia helped plot it over stolen bottles of cheap wine. Hack his socials, ethically-ish. Befriend his circle, wait for the slip. "Make him love you first," she said with a wicked grin. Then drop the hammer. But as I lay awake that first night post-rejection, staring at the water-stained ceiling of my shoebox apartment, doubt crept in. Why him? Why did his words cut deeper than anyone else's? And why, in the quiet hours, did I replay that hand squeeze like a lifeline? Weeks blurred into a haze of job hunts and rejection emails, the city chewing me up and spitting me out. I landed a gig bartending at a dive in the village, slinging drinks to tourists and locals nursing heartbreaks bigger than mine. The rainbow flags fluttered outside, a mocking reminder of the community I'd fought for, only to be sidelined by it. Mia dragged me to a support group for queer youth one Tuesday. You need backup, not booze. And that's where I met Theo, a soft-spoken artist with ink-stained fingers and a sketchbook full of ethereal figures that looked like lost souls. He was non-binary, they slashed them, with a quiet fire that drew me in. We talked for hours after, about art as rebellion, about the ache of being seen but not fully understood. "You're carrying too much," Theo said, their voice like a bomb as we wandered Washington Square Park, leaves crunching underfoot in the crisp fall air. "That scholarship guy, he doesn't define you." I wanted to believe it, but the plan gnawed at me. I'd started phase 1. Friending Ryan on social media under a burner account, liking his posts about literary slams and charity runs, mirroring his interests until he bit. He did, with a casual DM, "Hey, stranger. Saw your profile, dig the poetry Rex coffee sometime." Irony tasted like ash. Our reunion was at that same shop, the air thick with espresso and unspoken history. Ryan looked good, too good, in a cable-knit sweater that hugged his shoulders, his hair artfully messy. "Jamie," he said, standing to hug me, his cologne wrapping around me like a trap. "Missed this." We talked surface stuff, classes, the grind. He mentioned Lauren had dumped him over summer. Long distance killed it. And there was a flicker in his eyes, vulnerability I hadn't seen before. My resolve wavered. Was this the crack I needed? Or something more dangerous? As the afternoon waned, he walked me to the subway, the sun dipping low and painting the streets gold. "You okay?" he asked, pausing at the stairs. "After. You know." I forced a shrug, heart hammering. "Surviving." He nodded, then, impulsively, pulled out his wallet. "Here, it's not much, but apply this to your next app." A crumpled 50, more than I'd make in a shift. I stared, the gesture disarming, and for a heartbeat, revenge felt small. That night, I confessed to Mia over takeout lo mein, steam curling between us like secrets. "He's playing me," I insisted, but she arched a brow. Or maybe he's just a guy who's bad at apologies. Theo texted too, a sketch of two figures entwined in shadow, captioned, "For the fighter." Their kindness was an anchor, but Ryan haunted my dreams, his face shifting from foe to phantom lover. The turning point came at the annual Lit Fest, a whirlwind of readings and panels in a converted warehouse by the East River. I'd submitted a piece anonymously, a short story about a boy who builds walls of words only to watch them crumble under another's touch. It got selected, read by a guest author to a packed room. As the words filled the air, he swore the betrayal was armor, but it melted in the rain of what-ifs. I spotted Ryan in the crowd, his expression unreadable. Afterward, he found me at the signing table, book in hand. "That was yours, wasn't it, Jamie? It's brilliant." Raw. We ended up at an after-party in a loft overlooking the skyline, fairy lights twinkling like false stars. The room buzzed with writers and wannabes, laughter mingling with the clink of glasses. Theo was there, sketching in a corner, their eyes lighting up when they saw me. "You slayed," they said, hugging me tight. Ryan hovered nearby, nursing a beer, until he joined us, the three of us forming an unlikely triangle. Conversation flowed, Theo's murals in abandoned lots, Ryan's unpublished novel about family ghosts, my fragments of unfinished revenge. As the night deepened, alcohol loosening tongues, Ryan pulled me aside onto the fire escape. The city hummed below, a symphony of horns and distant dreams. "I need to tell you something," he said, voice low, breath visible in the chill. "About the scholarship. It wasn't what you think." My pulse spiked, fist clenching. "Then what was it, Ryan? Your idea of help?" He winced, running a hand through his hair. "Harlan cornered me. Said if I didn't back his play, he'd out me. To my dad, the board, everyone. I'm not as straight as I let on. And you? Your essay scared him because it was too real, too queer." The words hung there, heavier than the fog rolling in off the water. Outed. Blackmailed. Suddenly, the villain I'd built in my head fractured, revealing a man as trapped as I was. "Why didn't you fight?" I whispered, anger mingling with something softer, aching. "Because losing you as a friend hurt worse than any secret." "Friend." The word stung, but his eyes, those damn green eyes, held mine, pleading. Below us, the party thrummed on, oblivious. I pulled away, the metal railing cold under my palms. "I don't know what to believe anymore." He nodded, stepping back. "Fair. But I'm here if you need." As I re-entered the warmth, Theo's concerned gaze met mine, but it was Ryan's shadow that followed me home, twisting the knife of doubt deeper. Winter clamped down on New York like a vice, snow piling up in dirty drifts that mirrored the mess in my head. Classes dragged, my writing stalled at half-formed sentences, and revenge? It fizzled into late-night scrolls through Ryan's feed, searching for lies. Theo became my constant. Coffee dates turning into gallery crawls, their hand in mine a quiet rebellion against the cold. "You're blooming," they said one afternoon in a sunlit cafe, sunlight gilding their short-cropped hair. "Even if it hurts." But hurt it did. Mia threw a holiday party in her cramped walk-up, tinsel strung haphazardly and eggnog spiked just right. The guest list was eclectic: queer activists, broke artists, a few straight allies testing waters. Ryan showed, uninvited, but with a bottle of tequila and that disarming grin. "Peace offering," he announced, clinking glasses with Mia, who eyed him like a hawk. We avoided each other at first, me chatting with Theo about their latest exhibit, Ryan holding court with stories of upstate winters. Midnight brought the game, truth or dare, bottles spinning like fate. When it landed on me, Theo dared softly. "Sing something real." I belted out an old queer anthem, voice cracking on the high notes, the room erupting in cheers. Ryan's turn came next, truth. Mia, merciless, asked, "What's the biggest regret tying you down?" The air thickened. He looked at me, then away, hurting someone who deserved better. Because I was scared, of myself, mostly. The room cooed sympathies, but I felt it like a gut punch. Later, as snow fell softly outside, we ended up on the fire escape again. This time with Theo, the three of us bundled in scarves, passing a flask. To messy truths, Ryan toasted, and we drank, the burn chasing away the frost. Theo shared first, stories of misgendering in their conservative family, the art that saved them. Ryan followed, haltingly, kisses stolen in boarding school shadows, the fear of his father's belt, the closet he'd built brick by homophobic brick. Coming out to you that night. It was half confession, half cowardice. My turn. The words tumbled out. The scholarship's death, the vow of vengeance, the way his $50 bill had cracked my armor. I hated you, I admitted, voice raw. But it was easier than wanting you. Silence fell, broken only by distant traffic. Theo squeezed my hand. We're all just trying not to break. Ryan met my eyes, something electric passing between us. Not forgiveness, not yet, but possibility. The new year dawned gray and unforgiving, resolutions crumbling under the weight of reality. I threw myself into applications for other programs, Columbia, maybe, or a fellowship in Chicago, each essay a battle to reclaim my voice. Ryan and I fell into an uneasy rhythm, study sessions that stretched into dawn, walks where silences spoke volumes. Theo joined often, their presence a buffer against the pull I felt toward Ryan. The way his laugh lit something dormant in me. Tension simmered at a campus rally for trans rights, banners waving like war flags in the biting wind. I spoke, fierce words on intersectionality, how queer Latinos like me navigated double erasure. The crowd roared, but afterward, a heckler spat slurs, shoving me hard. Ryan was there in a flash, shoulder to shoulder, voice steady. Back off, or we're pressing charges. The guy slunk away, and as adrenaline faded, Ryan's arm lingered around me. You were incredible, he murmured. Theo, arriving late, raised an eyebrow but said nothing, their sketchpad already capturing the chaos. That night, over pizza in my apartment, the air crackled. Theo left early, give you space. And suddenly it was just us, boxes steaming on the coffee table. Jamie, Ryan started, setting down his slice. About what I said at the party. I meant it. More than friends. If you'll have me. Heart in throat. I leaned in, our lips meeting tentative. Then sure. A kiss tasting of pepperoni and pin-up storms. It was fire and forgiveness. But as his hands cupped my face, doubt whispered. Was this real, or just another layer of his mask? Spring thawed the city slowly, cherry blossoms tentative against concrete. Our thing, if that's what it was, grew in stolen moments. Hands brushing in crowded subways, notes slipped into books. But shadows loomed. Ryan's dad visited, a towering figure in pinstripes, eyes scanning me like a threat. Heard about your activities, he said over dinner at an overpriced steakhouse, the word dripping disdain. Ryan stiffened, but I held my ground. Proud of them, sir. The meal ended in frost, Ryan apologizing profusely after. He's coming around. Slowly. Theo noticed the shift, their texts laced with concern. Don't lose yourself in him, Jamie. We've got your back. We met at a poetry slam in Harlem, the stage alive with voices unchained. I performed a new piece, about thorns in tender places, and Ryan cheered loudest, but Theo's hug afterward grounded me. That's you, they whispered. Unbreakable. The climax hit like a freight train at the spring lit conference, NYU scouts in attendance. Ryan and I both reapplied, our essays intertwined now, his on the cost of silence, mine on the power of shattering it. The panel was brutal, Harlan presiding, his gaze lingering like a curse. Questions probed deep, on identity, on fit. Ryan spoke first, voice steady. Fit isn't conformity. It's courage. When my turn came, I laid it bare. The ruined dream, the revenge I'd plotted, the love that rewrote it all. Gasps rippled, Harlan's face paled. We didn't hear immediately. Days stretched taut, filled with what-ifs. Then, the breakdown. Walking home from a shift, phone silent, the weight crushed me. I collapsed on a bench in Tompkins Square, sobs racking as rain started again, poetic justice. Friends were out of reach, Mia traveling, Theo at a residency. No one came. Except him. Ryan, drenched, coat flapping like wings, dropping to his knees. I got the call, we both did. Full rides. But he saw my face, pulled me close. It's okay to fall. I've got you. In that moment, prejudices melted, mine against him, his against himself. The world narrowed to us. Two boys who'd clawed through darkness, emerging scarred but whole. I love you, he said, simple as breath. I echoed it, the revenge long forgotten in the flood of truth. Yet twists lingered. Harlan's resignation hit the wires, exposed for his biases, thanks to an anonymous tip Ryan's doing, I later learned. Theo returned with an offer: collaborate on a graphic novel of our stories. Mia crowed victory over brunch. And Ryan? He proposed we move in together post-grad, a tiny walk-up with views of the chaos we loved. Summer hummed with promise, fireflies in the parks, our hands linked at pride, banners blazing, hearts unchained. We'd overcome the misunderstandings, the discriminations that tried to divide us. Love wasn't a straight line. It was the detour, the breakdown, the showing up. And in Ryan's eyes, I saw my future, not ruined, but rewritten. The parade route pulsed with color, drums thundering like heartbeats under rainbow arches that spanned from Midtown to the Village. Ryan and I wove through the throng, his hand warm in mine, a public claim that still sent butterflies rioting in my stomach. Look at us, he laughed, dodging a cluster of drag queens on stilts, their sequins catching the sun like disco balls. From enemies to this. I squeezed his fingers, the memory of that alley rain a distant echo now. But even in triumph, doubt nipped at my heels. What if this was temporary, a phase before his world pulled him back? Theo marched nearby, banner slung over their shoulder. Art heals all wounds. We'd spent weeks on the graphic novel sketches, their pencils bringing our raw edges to life. Me as the Avenger with ink-stained fists, Ryan as the shadowed prince cracking open. It's therapy, Theo had said during our last session in their sun-dappled studio, charcoal smudging their cheek. And a middle finger to the Harlans of the world. Mia flanked us, megaphone in hand, chanting slogans that drew cheers. To Jamie and his hot redemption arc, she hollered, winking. The crowd ate it up, but Ryan's blush was for me alone. Afterward, we collapsed at a rooftop bar, the skyline a jagged crown under bruised purple skies. Beers sweated on the table, condensation tracing paths like tears. Toasts, Mia proposed, raising her glass. Theo went first. To found family, the ones who stay. Ryan's eyes met mine over the rim. To second chances, and the people who make them worth it. Mine caught in my throat, but I managed. To breaking down, so we can build better. Laughter followed, but as night deepened, conversation splintered. Mia and Theo dove into debate over the next rally's theme, leaving Ryan and I in a bubble of quiet intimacy. He traced circles on my knee under the table, a habit that grounded me. Dad called today, he said softly, the words laced with old tension. He's trying. Invited us for dinner next month. Us. The inclusion warmed me, but I saw the flicker, the boy who'd once hidden kisses in shadows. No pressure, I replied, covering his hand. We go at our pace. He smiled, that dimple flashing, and leaned in for a kiss, soft, lingering, tasting of hops and home. But as fireworks cracked overhead for some distant celebration, a text buzzed my phone. Unknown number. You think you're safe now? Watch your back, Reyes. Chills prickled despite the humid air. I deleted it, chalking it up to Harlan's bitter echoes or a random troll. Ryan noticed my pallor. Everything okay? I nodded, forcing brightness. But sleep evaded me that night in our new apartment. The one with creaky floors and a window box of herbs we'd planted together. Dreams twisted, Ryan's face morphing into Harlan's, accusations flying like confetti turned to shrapnel. Morning brought routine, coffee brewing, Ryan humming off-key as he scrambled eggs, sunlight slanting through blinds like golden bars. Big day, he reminded, kissing my temple. Auditions for the Fellowship Mentorship Program. 6 spots, intense interviews with industry pros. I'd prepped for weeks, my portfolio a testament to growth. Stories woven from pain into power. Theo had illustrated the cover piece, their fluid lines capturing a figure rising from ashes. You've got this, Ryan said, straightening my collar. His own interview loomed tomorrow, nerves hidden behind encouragement. The panel room was sterile. White walls, a long table manned by editors and agents, their expressions appraising. I launched in, reading from Echoes of Vengeance, the piece born from our fallout. Words flowed, the sting of betrayal, the sweetness of unlikely grace. Questions probed. How does personal bias influence narrative? I answered honestly, about queerness as both wound and weapon, about loving across lines drawn by society. Nods rippled. One agent scribbled furiously. As I left, buoyant, the receptionist slipped me a note, strong showing. Results Friday. Ryan greeted me with takeout tacos on the stoop, our building's cat weaving between legs. Spill. I did, animation drawing his laugh. But his eyes shadowed when I mentioned the note. Hey, mine's tomorrow. Walk me through my pitch. We spent the evening rehearsing, his vulnerability peeking through polished prose. What if they see the cracks? He murmured, script trembling. I cupped his face. That's what makes it real. Love, I realized, was this, holding space for fears, not erasing them. Friday dawned electric. We checked emails in tandem, screens glowing like oracles. Mine first, accepted. Elation surged. I hooped, tackling Ryan in a hug. His followed, waitlisted. The word landed like a soft blow. It's fine, he insisted, forcing cheer. Backup plans. But I saw the hurt, the echo of his father's expectations. We'll celebrate mine, pivot for yours, I said, pulling him close. That night, Theo and Mia orchestrated a surprise. Karaoke in a dive, off-key renditions of show tunes lifting spirits. Ryan belted, defying gravity, voice cracking on the bridge, and we cheered like he was Elphaba herself. Yet the text lingered, a thorn. Another came midweek. Caldwell's using you. Dig deeper. Paranoia bloomed. Was it jealousy from a rival? Harlan's ghost? I confided in Theo over sketch revisions, their studio smelling of turpentine and possibility. Confronted head-on, they advised, adding a panel of shadowy figures whispering. Or it festers. Mia, practical as ever, suggested tracing the number, burner, dead end. Ryan, when told, paled. Ignore it. It's noise. But his deflection rang hollow. The dinner with his dad arrived like a storm front. We drove upstate, Hudson Valley unfolding in emerald waves, Ryan's knuckles white on the wheel. The house was imposing, colonial revival, manicured lawns screaming old money. Mr. Caldwell greeted us stiffly, handshake firm, eyes appraising my thrift store blazer. Dinner was a minefield, politics skirted, achievements probed. NYU, eh? Prestigious, he said, forking steak. Ryan's wait list, temporary setback. Ryan tensed. I interjected lightly. Talent like his? They'll see it. A nod, grudging, but later, as we cleared plates, he pulled Ryan aside. Whispers carried. This phase. End it before it ruins you. I pretended not to hear, but the drive back was silent, Ryan's jaw set. He's wrong, I said finally, hand on his thigh. About everything. Tears glistened in moonlight. I know, but it sticks. We pulled over at a scenic overlook, stars pricking the velvet sky. There, in the truck's cab, he broke, sobs muffled against my shoulder, years of conditioning pouring out. I love you, Jamie. Not a phase. Holding him, I vowed silently, no more hiding. We'd face the noise together. Back in the city, the texts escalated. Photos, us at Pride, blurred but identifiable, captioned scandal waiting. Fear coiled, but anger followed. I showed Ryan. He recognized the angle. Theo's exhibit opening, last month. Betrayal stung. We confronted gently over coffee, Theo's face crumpling. Not me, swear. But I saw someone lurking. Harlan's TA maybe. Investigation mode. Mia hacked campus forums, uncovering posts from a non-lit lover, rants against agenda-driven admits, timestamps matching the threats. Harlan's protege, a bitter junior named Ellis, out for blood after his own rejection. The confrontation brewed at the fellowship mixer, a glittering affair in a Soho gallery, champagne flutes clinking amid abstract queer art. Ellis cornered us near a sculpture of intertwined forms. Reyes. Caldwell. Congrats, unearned, I'm sure. Venom dripped. Ryan stepped forward. Enough. The texts, the photos, it's over. Ellis sneered. Prove it. I pulled out Mia's screenshots, voice steady. We will. With security. He blanched, bolting, but not before a witness, an agent, overheard. By morning, complaints filed, Ellis suspended. Relief washed like summer rain, but scars remained. Ryan's waitlist turned to acceptances elsewhere, a smaller program, but ours. Theo's novel pitched successfully, illustrations popping. Mia planned our housewarming. And in quiet moments, Ryan and I rebuilt. Therapy sessions unpacking closets. weekend getaways to the Cape where waves erased worries. One evening, as fireflies danced in our window box, Ryan proposed. Not rings, but words. Build a life with me? Messy, real, all of it. Tears pricked. I nodded. Love wasn't revenge's shadow anymore. It was the light breaking through, fierce and unyielding. Fall semester kicked off with a vengeance, syllabi stacking like accusations. But we hit the ground running. Separate campuses now. NYU's ivy-clad halls for me. Ryan commuting to his program across the river. Mornings blurred into commutes. Me on the L train, sketching plot twists in a battered notebook. Him in lectures on narrative theory, texts pinging updates like lifelines. Miss your eggs, I'd send. Miss your chaos, he'd reply. Distance tested us, but it honed the ache into something sharper, sweeter. Theo's exhibit opening drew us back together. A warehouse in Bushwick transformed into a labyrinth of murals, our graphic novel panels woven in like threads of fate. Echoes unbound. The title read, spotlit figures leaping from walls. Me shattering chains, Ryan emerging from fog. Guests milled, critics in black turtlenecks, queer icons with knowing smiles. Mia manned the bar, slinging mocktails with flair. To the dream team, she toasted as we cut the ribbon, Ryan's arm around my waist, Theo beaming beside. But midway, a shadow, Ellis's face in the crowd, uninvited, eyes like daggers. Security escorted him out, but not before he hissed, "This isn't over." Whispers spread. A critic cornered me. "Drama sells, lean in?" I bristled. "It's life, not plot." Ryan pulled me aside, into an alcove draped in canvas. "He's nothing. We are." His kiss was urgent, grounding, but as applause swelled outside, I wondered, how many echoes before the past silenced? The drive home was tense, city lights streaking like accusations. "Therapy tomorrow," Ryan reminded, hand on my knee. We'd started couples sessions, Dr. Lena, a no-nonsense dyke with a laugh like gravel, unpacking our baggage. Mine, abandonment scars from Abuela's rejection, the scholarship as validation I'd chased. His, internalized shame, the golden boy facade cracking under authenticity's weight. Progress, she'd say, homework like vulnerability dates, sharing fears over ice cream in the park. One such date unfolded under maples turning crimson, cones dripping in Central Park. "Afraid I'll outshine you," I admitted, licking vanilla from my thumb. Ryan chuckled, then sobered. "Afraid you'll see I'm not enough." We sat with it, leaves spiraling down like confessions. "You are," I whispered, forehead to his. That night, tangled in sheets, we mapped futures, joint readings, a podcast on queer lit. Intimacy wasn't just bodies. It was souls aligning, tentative and true. Mia threw a midterm survival bash, her apartment a riot of string lights and takeout carnage. Theo arrived with a new character sketch. For our sequel, a sidekick mirroring them, fluid, fierce. Games devolved into truths. Worst date ever? Mia. Guy who quoted Ayn Rand mid-make-out. Laughter roared. Ryan's turn, hiding who I was from the one person who saw me. Eyes on me raw. Mine. Plotting your downfall while falling for you. The room odd. Theo sketched the moment furtively. But crack spiderwebbed. Ryan's dad emailed. "Proud of the work, son. But that exhibit. Tone it down." Ryan deleted it unread, but tension lingered. "He'll come around," I soothed, but doubt seeded. Then, a curveball. My mentor at NYU, Elena, a trailblazing Latina poet, pulled me aside after workshop. "Your voice is gold, Jamie, but guarded. What's holding you?" I spilled, the threats, the past. She nodded. "Use it. Channel into your thesis." The thesis loomed, a novella weaving our story. Revenge birthing redemption, love as revolution. Outlines sprawled across our kitchen table, coffee rings like punctuation. Ryan contributed scenes, his POV, the blackmail's chokehold. Collaborate officially, he suggested one dawn, sunlight gilding his sleep-tousled hair. Co-authors. Thrill sparked. We dove in, words flowing like shared breath. Winter whispered in early, frost etching windows as holidays approached. Theo's family drama erupted, dead-naming at Thanksgiving, them storming out. We hosted an alt celebration, potluck with Mia's killer empanadas, Games, no drama. Chosen kin. Theo toasted, eyes bright. Ryan's dad sent a card, stiff, but signed Love, Dad. Progress, fragile as snowflakes. Yet Ellis resurfaced. Anonymous review of Theo's show. Venomous screed on forced diversity. Backlash brewed. Supporters flooded comments. We rallied. Social posts, op-eds. Mia's viral thread dissected the bigotry, garnering shares from influencers. United front, Ryan said. Arm around me during a strategy call. Strength in numbers, but vulnerability too. What if it broke us? Climax brewed at the winter-lit gala. Black tie affair in a gilded ballroom. Snow swirling outside like confetti. Nominations. Our novella shortlisted for Emerging Voices Award. Nerves jangled as we entered. Ryan dapper in borrowed tux, me in a thrift velvet jacket. Elena cornered us. Heard about Ellis. Dropped charges if you do. Temptation flickered. Ryan squeezed my hand. No. Justice. Speeches droned. Then our category. 4 echoes unbound. Heart stopped. We won. Stage lights blinded as we accepted. Ryan's voice steady. To those who loved us into being. Cheers thundered, but backstage, Ellis waited, fists clenched. You stole it, he snarled. Ryan stepped up, earned it. Unlike you. Scuffle erupted, security swarmed. Bruises bloomed, but victory tasted sweeter. After, in a cab home, adrenaline crashing, Ryan winced at his split lip. Worth it? I asked, dabbing ice. Every scar. We made love slow, reverent. Bodies mapping trust, whispers weaving vows. Morning brought headlines. Ellis expelled, our story trending. Theo texted sketches of triumphant heroes. Mia planned victory tour. Spring bloomed defiant. Cherry petals carpeting paths as we walked hand in hand. The novella launched to acclaim. Signings packed with faces like ours. Queer, resilient. Ryan's dad attended one. Handshake tentative. Well done, boys. Baby steps. Theo's residency extended. Mia dated a barista with promise. In quiet, Ryan and I dreamed bigger. A cabin upstate, pages piling. Love, we'd learned, was the plot twist, unscripted, unending. Summer unfurled lazy and lush. The city shedding winter's skin for rooftop barbecues and fire hydrant sprays cooling kids in tenements. Our novella tour kicked off with a bang. Readings in indie bookstores from Brooklyn to Boston. Crowds hungry for tales of queer tenacity. Ryan and I tag-teamed events. Me reading the fiery opener, him the tender close. Our voices intertwining like we'd rehearsed lifetimes. You two are magic. A fan gushed after one, eyes starry. Magic. That's what it felt like. Us against the world's grind, alchemizing pain into prose. Theo joined for the Philly leg, their murals popping up in pop-up galleries along the route. Visual soundtrack, they called it, panels syncing with chapters, vengeance in stark blacks, redemption in dawn pinks. Mia road managed, playlist blasting everything from Bad Bunny to Billie Holiday, her commentary a non-stop roast. Ryan, if you trip on stage, I'm filming for blackmail. Laughter kept the long drives bearable, but off stage, realities nipped. Ryan's program demanded a thesis defense, virtual, mercifully, but prep consumed him, notes scattered like autumn leaves. Distracted, I teased one night, finding him staring at his laptop in our dim living room. City hum a lullaby outside. He sighed, rubbing temples. Dad's emailing again. Focus on career, not distractions. The word landed like a slap. I knelt beside him. Me? No, us. The visibility. We talked it out, Dr. Lena's tools in play, reframing as growth, not threat. But seeds of worry sprouted. Was fame's glare too bright for his fragile peace? A detour hid in D.C. Protest against a bill gutting queer protections, signs thrusting like spears. We marched, voices hoarse by noon, sweat mingling with resolve. Theo documented, sketches capturing Fury's faces. This is why we write, Ryan said, linking arms with me amid chants. A counter-protester shoved, cops kettled the crowd. Chaos swirled, tear gas stinging, bodies pressing. Ryan shielded me, coughs racking. Stay close. Hours later, released, we collapsed in a motel, bruised but unbroken. Heroes, Mia declared, bandaging scrapes. That night, Ryan's whisper in dark. I'd fight worlds for you. Back home, the tour wrapped with a launch party in our building's courtyard, string lights, local bands, empanadas courtesy Mia. Neighbors mingled. The lesbian couple from 3B with their rescue pup, the trans barista who'd inked our copies. Toasts flowed, Elena keynote. Jamie's journey, from sideline to spotlight, reminds us, stories save. Applause swelled, Ryan's eyes shone. But as cake cut, an envelope slipped under our door, typed note, enjoy the high. Fall's coming, Ellis. Or new ghost. Paranoia revisited, but we pivoted, security cams installed, community watch looped in. Not letting fear win, Ryan vowed, installing the app. Meanwhile, opportunities bloomed. Podcast invite from an NPR affiliate, guest spots on lit panels. Theo's agent shopped their solo collection. Mia's activism blog hit viral. Momentum built, but so did pressure, deadlines stacking, egos fragile. Fall crept in sly, equinox winds stripping trees bare. Ryan's defense loomed. Mock runs in our kitchen turned tense, his pitch faltering on identity arcs. They'll see through, he fretted, pacing. I role-played panelist. Dig deeper. Why queer narratives matter now. Breakthrough came late. Because they're us. Mirrors for the marginalized. Confidence flickered back. My own milestone. Thesis submission. Novella expanded into full manuscript. Elena's feedback. Publishable. Polish in pitch. Elation mixed with terror. Exposure's double edge. We celebrated with Theo's mural unveiling in the subway. Our characters graffitied large. Echoes unbound. Rise. Commuters paused, phones snapping. A kid with braces beamed. That's me up there. But storm clouds gathered. Ryan's dad announced a visit. Business trip, dinner after. We prepped like battle. Neutral topics, boundaries set. The restaurant was upscale, linen napkins, sommelier hovering. Mr. Caldwell arrived crisp, compliments on the book veiled in qualifiers. Impressive for newcomers. Ryan held firm. For us, Dad. Proudly. Tension thickened over entrees. Then, abrupt. Therapy helping? Ryan blinked. I froze. How guessed? Good. But son, marriage? Stability. Ryan's fork clattered. Love is stable. Ours. Silence stretched. Then soft. I see that. Not acceptance, but a door cracked. Relief post-dinner, but fallout lingered. Ryan crashed hard. Doubts flooding. What if he's right? Session with Dr. Lena unpacked it. Generational trauma, progress nonlinear. Homework. Write letters, to dads, unsent. Mine poured Abuela's absence, his unspoken pleas. Reading aloud by candlelight, tears fell, catharsis, connection deepening. November brought Thanksgiving redux. Our potluck evolved. Tables groaning under dishes from heritages blended. Tamales, mac, and cheese, kugel. Theo's and attended, first family olive branch. Games, gratitude circle. Mia for fierce friends. Theo for art's armor. Ryan, for home in you, Jamie. Mine, for breaking me open to this. Yet the note's shadow loomed. Another arrived. Photo of us marching, red circle around Ryan. Target acquired. Fear iced my veins. We reported. Detective yawned. Harassment epidemic. Mia crowdsourced. Online sleuths traced IP to campus. Ellis again, evading expulsion on technicality. Climax brewed at the Winter Book Fair, booths buzzing, signings queued. We manned our table, stacks gleaming. Fans gushed, then Ellis approached, feigning buyer. Autograph. To my ruin. Ryan tensed. I signaled security. But he lunged, coffee scalding my arm, chaos erupting. Punches flew, bystanders intervened. Cops hauled him, burns blistered, but justice clicked. Arrest, restraining order. Healing followed, aloe and Alesh, Mia's nursing. Warrior wound, Theo sketched. Ryan's defense aced, offers poured. Spring teased with possibility. Joint residency application, whispers of forever. In Bloom's hush, we walked the high line, rails rusting romantic. Marry me. Ryan asked, not ring but poem, verses vowing chaos shared. Yes tumbled out, world tilting joyful. Love's arc, not straight triumph, but winding grace. The engagement ring, a braided cord from Theo's workshop, etched with unbound. Felt like promise etched in skin. We kept it low-key, no knee drops or billboards, just a dinner with the crew. Mia's cheers drowning menu recitals, Theo toasting with herbal elixir. To plots we didn't see coming. Ryan's grin lit the booth, his foot hooked, round mine under table, an anchor in the whirl of what nexts. Words spread sneaky. Elena cornered me at seminar. Details. I deflected with drafts. She persisted. Weddings as metaphor. Mine your next chapter. Inspiration struck. Vows as vignettes. Ceremony a reading of lives entwined. Ryan dove in, scripting responses. I vow to witness your storms, not calm them. Chills every rehearsal. Our apartment echoing with half-formed oaths. Spring semester surged, deadlines like tides. My manuscript edits consumed nights, red pen bleeding pages. Ryan guest lectured at my campus, queer canon, packed house. Q&A turned personal. How do you navigate prejudice? His glance my way. With allies who become everything. Applause. Afterward, stolen kiss in empty hall, hearts hammering. Theo's collection launched, shadows sung. Illustrations of fluid identities. Opening night, gallery humming, champagne fizzing. Their speech cracked. For the in-betweens, the unseen. We bought the centerpiece, self-portrait in watercolor waves. Mia networked, snagging blurbs from heavy hitters. Empire building, she crowed. But ripples from Ellis. Court date loomed, his plea for leniency citing stress. We testified. Me on scald scar, Ryan on threats terror. Judge stern, probation, therapy mandated. Closure. Ryan asked post-hearing, courthouse steps gray under drizzle. Step. I replied, hailing cab. Home. We burned effigies. Notes to ash and sink. Ritual purging. Summer beckoned with residency acceptance. Joint spot in the Berkshires. Cabin amid pines. Writing uninterrupted. Packing frenzy. Notebooks, laptops. Mia's care package of emergency snacks. Drive-up wound through hills greening. Radio crooning indie anthems. Cabin charmed. Creaky porch. Stone hearth. Lake view shimmering. Hours. Ryan breathed, unpacking. Days dissolved into rhythm. Mornings writing solo. Afternoons hikes where ideas sparked. Evenings, fireside reads. Critiquing kindly, laughs punctuating prose. One dusk, canoeing, oars dipping lazy. Remember that fire escape? Ryan mused. Thought I'd lost you. Paddle stilled. I leaned across. Found us. Kiss salted by lake spray, world narrowing to ripples. Theo visited mid-month, sketchpad in tow. Muses in motion, they dubbed collaborative sessions. Our words fueling their lines, cycle spinning. Mia FaceTimed rants. Cities dull without you chaos duo. Letters to dads evolved. Ryan sent his, measured hope. Reply came tentative. Proud. Visit soon. Yet isolation amplified doubts. Ryan's novel stalled, pages glaring blank. Imposter. He confessed one stormy eve, thunder rumbling. After everything. I gathered drafts. Look, gold here. We brainstormed, breakthrough in metaphor. Closets as labyrinths, love the thread. Flow resumed. Climax crested at residency showcase. Peers sharing excerpts, ours a duet reading. Room hushed as I opened. Vengeance's vine. Ryan closed, redemption's route. Gasps, tears, director pulled us aside. Publishers circling. City re-embraced. Autumn classes, launch preps, wedding planning snuck in. Venue a community garden, officiant Elena. Invites hand calligraphed by Theo. Join our unbound union. Mia as best woman, quips cute. Ryan's dad RSVP'd yes. Milestone monumental. Holidays hybrid. Upstate for his family. Then ours. Potluck redux. Tables bridging worlds. His dad's toast awkward but earnest. To new chapters. Abuela's absence ached, but proxies filled. Elena's stories. Mia's mimicry. New Year's Eve. Ball dropping on TV. Ryan's vow renewed. This year, us forever. Winter wove tighter. Edits finalized. Cover art, Theo's masterpiece. Two figures silhouetted against dawn. Blurbs poured. Heart-wrenching triumph. Launch loomed February. Valentine's tie-in. Romantic irony. But pre-launch jitters. Ryan's anxiety spiked. Nightmares of flops. Therapy tandem. Breathe through. Dr. Lena coached. We practiced affirmations, walks in snow-dusted parks. Launch night. Bookstore packed, air electric with nerves. Hugh snaked, readings wrapped, me fiery, Ryan fluid. Q&A delved, real story. Hours, we chorused. Sales soared. After party at ours, dawn creeping as guests trickled. Spring wedding bloomed, garden lush, arches of wildflowers. Vows exchanged under sun. Mine, you showed when I shattered, my always. His, from ruin to this, my home. Rings simple, silver bands engraved, unbound. Dance floor makeshift, Mia's playlist pumping. His dad's hug surprised, happy for you. Theo's toast. To loves that rewrite. Honeymoon hike in Appalachia, trails tracing our growth. Night stargazing, futures sketched. Kids maybe, adoptions dreamed. Back, life layered. Teachings, writings, loves deepening. Years folded, books stacked, family grew. Mia auntie to our adopted twins, Theo godparent. Prejudices faded, not gone, but we armored in stories shared. Love's denouement? No end, just endless pages turning. Decades danced by in ink and intimacy. Our apartment evolving into a haven of stacked manuscripts and mismatched frames. Wedding snapshots beside book tour Polaroids. Theo's murals peeling artfully at edges. The twins, Luca and Sophia, adopted at 3, now lanky teens with Ryan's dimples and my stubborn streak. Filled halls with guitar riffs and debate club fire. Dad, your old revenge plot? So dramatic. Luca teased over breakfast, scrolling my memoir excerpt. Ryan ruffled his hair, learned from the best. Teaching anchored us. Me at NYU adjunct. Queerlit seminars buzzing with fresh voices echoing our youth. Ryan chaired at his program, mentoring misfits into maestros. Full circle, he'd say, grading papers late, coffee steaming. Mia ran a nonprofit now, queer youth advocacy, her office a riot of rainbow flags and success stories. Your revenge kid? Running our DC branch, she'd boast at reunions, arms slung round Theo, their partnership a quiet constant, gallery shows syncing with our launches. Echoes lingered, but softly, Ellis reformed, apology letter framed as cautionary. A milestone crept, 20th anniversary, twins plotting surprise. They blindfolded us, leading to the high line. Our spot, rails now wilder with vines. There, under strung lights, Mia emceed, readings from guests. Theo's illustrated vows, Elena's poem. Luca read our old fire escape scene, Sophia sketched live. Ryan pulled me close, still showing up? Always, I whispered, kiss ceiling. Post-party, twins crashed early. We slipped to roof, city sprawl a constellation below. What now? Ryan mused, head on my shoulder. More us. Novels co-authored yearly, themes cycling. Love's labyrinths, identities infinities. Podcast evolved to TV adaptation, Unbound, casting calls buzzing. Theo's retrospective filled MoMA, walls alive with our arcs, curator noting collaborative cosmos. Opening night, tears flowed, Luca's first exhibit piece beside. Legacy, Theo hugged, paint flecked. Mia's wedding, to the barista, evolved into chef, our garden, roles reversed. We officiated, vows mirroring ours, through breakdowns, build. Dance ended in conga line, laughter echoing. A scare mid-autumn, Ryan's checkup flagged shadow, benign, but biopsy weight stretched eternal. Nights clung tighter, whispers fierce. Not yet. Clear bill brought sobs of release. We hiked Berkshires again, cabin unchanged, toasting survival. Twins launched, Luca to film school, Sophia activism abroad. Empty nest echoed, but we filled, travel, Paris readings, Tokyo murals with Theo. Grandkids trickled, Mia's, then neighbors. Story hours in parks, laps full. At 50, memoir dropped, from vow to volume. Tour intimate, faces familiar. Old students, rally vets. Q&A regrets? Ryan, none. You, only not sooner. Winters warmed with fireside rites, plots pondering elders' loves. Spring always renewed, garden vows refreshed, flowers nodding. One dawn, coffee brewing, Ryan slid manuscript across, epilogue draft. Our end, words blurred, enduring, unbound. Beginning, I corrected, pulling him near. Life's narrative, not linear triumph, but mosaic, shards of strife, glue of grace. We, the authors, ever turning pages.